drafted in the first round, pick number 32 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mr. Ziggy Hood, appreciate you taking the time to come on my podcast.
What's good, man? Happy blessing on this Saturday.
Yes, sir, for sure, sure. So you got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So what was that feeling like when you first got drafted by the historic Pittsburgh Steelers?
You know what? I tell people this all the time. It was so surreal, so surreal that you had to be there in that moment, and for all the dreams of the hard work, the dedication, everything that your mom, installed into you. And we gave it. We just having the opportunity to even be drafted came alive in that little short amount of time span right there. And so it's like a wave of relief, a wave of comfort, and only by the grace of God I was given that opportunity from His blessings to receive that afternoon, and just to get that moment, it's hard. It's hard to describe because the energy was different.
Yeah. Like I said, man, I grew up watching, man. You was a dog out there on that field, man, on that historic Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Y'all was known for that defense.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So you played for Dick LeBeau. So, like, how did he shape you into being a defensive player that you end up becoming?
Well, especially with that defense that they had during the time, you had to understand the concept of how important your job was. And so
Yeah.
if you're out of whack, you mess with James Harrison, you mess with James Ferrier behind you. You had Larry Foote back there as well. Not only that, Casey Hampton in the middle, Brett Kiesel on the other side, Nick Easton, and then you had Lamar Woodley, with you as well. So if you was out that fit, you screwed up the whole defense. And so
Yeah.
when you got the guy Ryan Clark back there, and I'm pretty sure you know about him and how he
Yeah.
talks and everything, I mean, you had to be on your keys, you had to be on point. But that made me a better player because now I'm able to slow the game down and realize, okay, if he fits here, he has to fit here, which come in the terms of run fits and everything else. So just seeing that from his genius and what he did for that city, and not only that for that team, it was remarkable with my time there.
Okay. Because, Troy Polamalu was on the defense too, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that was a different animal right there.
Yeah, man. I was going to say, I said, yeah, man. Y'all had that squad, man. I sure remember that,
Absolutely,
man. Y'all had the middles. So, can you share a memorable moment that you had with Pittsburgh Steelers that you remember?
man. There's a bunch of memories, but I can't. But the one that stood out the most was we went to Baltimore. I don't know if this was my first year or second year. We played in the afternoon around 1 o'clock. That game we got whooped. I think we got whooped like 42, maybe to 7 or 8 or something like that. I can't remember the
Yeah.
score, but I think that's when that fight broke out. And I've never seen Troy like that. Now, keep in mind, by this time, I only had a year or two with him, and so
Yeah.
he's known to be real quiet, real reserved, real laid back. You wouldn't know he's in the room until he stood up because he's not a big guy that you expect, but his presence on the football field looks. He plays about 6'9", 500 pounds. He's the Thanos on the field, and so
Yeah.
when I see him get angry, jumping over piles, punching people and stuff like that, I said, "My goodness, man, where did this dude transform?" But just but just to see all them guys brawl and fight, even though you know what, that's my year. That was year three because I remember because Cam Hayward was out there with me at the time because he just got drafted. Matter of fact, Coach John Mitchell, who's my defensive line, he held us back and make sure we don't go out there because he wanted the old guys out there to fight because we had a lot more stuff to prove and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, man. So take me back to like your days. So when did you know you could officially like make it to the NFL? What was that defining moment for you?
Um, my junior year, we just got done beating Arkansas in the Cotton Bowl, and my guy William Moore, who got drafted to the Atlanta Falcons that the next year, in the second round, he called me up and said, "Hey man, are you going to enter in the draft this year?" And so he was giving me his stats and everything. And at the time, me and him was going to get the same agent with Andy Ross, great guy by the way. And so he gave me his grade, fourth to fifth round. My grade was like middle of the fourth, early five, and so on from that point on. He said, man, no, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to give it one more year, see what I can do. But just to
Okay.
have that perspective about what college scouts, NFL scouts were looking at the time, that made me drive and prepare myself for my senior year because I had a decent, good junior year, My sophomore year was on a good start. At one point in time, I was actually leading the nation in the sacks, but I got hurt at New Mexico when we were playing over there. I had broken my fifth metatarsal,
Yeah.
that bone on the outside of your foot, if you're familiar with it. And so I was on the road my sophomore year. And so when that happened, that kind of derailed me. And then, anything that derails you going into your junior senior year, you kind of like, oh man, I don't know what's going to happen. But when we had that big game against Derek McFadden, Felix Jones, and that Wild Hog, I think that's what they called themselves at the time. It was a good eye opening moment. Say, I think I got a chance, so I'm gonna give it a try next year.
Hey, so that I'm gonna tell you so that's funny that you said that the final moments against the Arkansas Razorbacks because I grew up in Little Rock. I was born in the street for Louisiana, but I grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas. So the
Yeah,
reason why I'm saying it because I know a lot of Arkansas fans. So my friends, they're gonna say, it would be against us.
yeah. You tell them that. I think we beat them 42-7. We had
Oh
I had a
yeah.
real good meal later on that night. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I'm a definitely troller because I'm an LSU fan, so I'm gonna definitely hey, they gonna see this, so they go, okay.
That's a bet.
so so back to your NFL. So who was like the toughest lineman that you had to go against in the
You
trenches?
know what? We play Baltimore twice a year, and if this guy doesn't make it to the Hall of Fame, it was
Yeah.
Marshall Yonder, number 73. Great, smart guy. He studied the game a lot. He knew me very well. I think he knew me better than I knew myself.
Yeah.
His hands were quick. His feet was quick. Not only that, he was a tough guy. He was a great opponent. So every time the Baltimore schedule or we knew Baltimore was going to be on the schedule and where we was going to play. I didn't give a damn about that team. I worried about him because he's the guy who I got to go against every time because I played on the left side and he was on the
Yeah.
right side of the offensive line. But it was a great battle every game. The guy did very well. I won some. He probably won more. But hey, eventually I think we end up winning more times when we play Ravens more than anything else. But like I said, it was a great guy. It was Marshall Yonder. You know, hell of a player, hell of a career. Future Hall of Famer.
Okay. So did you have like a favorite team growing up?
It was Denver Broncos. I grew up in the Cowboy Nation, and so that's all you see. My dad's not a big Cowboy fan. He liked a couple guys on
Yeah.
Cowboys, but he's not a Cowboy fan. But like that when they had John Elway, Terrell
Yeah.
Davis, and McCaffrey, Shannon Sharp when he played. All that group that won the Super Bowl, I think back to back years or something like that. And so I grew up a Bronco fan, but
Yeah.
I still like the Broncos going in. I wish I was going to get drafted by the Broncos because I had a guy personally work me out from the Broncos at my pro day. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, all right, so cool. I think I'm gonna be all right. I think I'm gonna get my dream team.
So I know you done go. So how was that feeling when you ever like had to play against the Broncos? I know you probably done played them a few times before, huh? So
Mm-hmm.
was it ever like that surreal, like, wow, I'm playing against my favorite team? How did that go?
You know what? Probably the first time. I think Kyle Orton was the quarterback at the time. I can't
Yeah,
remember who was the running back at the time. I can't think of his name, but that's when they had Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall. He was a different breed.
yeah,
He was almost like Megatron at one point in time. And so this dude was big. He was fast, but then
yeah.
again, he seemed like a nice guy out there. But he looked like he played with some violence. So just to sit back and see guys like that play and it's pretty awesome. But like I say, I was just given an opportunity to be out there and experience that, and that's when I tell people I love the game. I love the things that are provided over a decade, but just to have the experience of seeing guys play and be like, man, that guy, he working his craft.
Yeah.
He's an artist out there on the football field. That's always been amazing.
Okay, yeah, yes. So you said you had a favorite team growing up. So did you have like a favorite specific player that you grew
Uh,
up?
you know what? I had a couple, but I can't. I always tell people to let the late great Reggie White. I mean, this dude,
Yeah,
the minister of defense. God fearing man. Church going, but when he played with violence. He played with energy. Whenever he was getting an opportunity to make plays, he was going to capitalize. And just for him to go so early, we missed out on a lot of knowledge from the game
mhm,
that we still could have been soaking up today. Like I said, he was only here for the short time on earth. Imagine if he was here even longer and for to be
yeah,
able to experience. And not only I had tried to get the chance to meet the guy, just
yeah.
to shake his hand, just tell him thank you for everything that you have done just as a football player. So I say, it was Reggie White.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see that, man. So back to Pittsburgh. Well, I guess this going to question, I guess any team that you play for, did you who was like the person that was had the biggest impact on your career that you would say your biggest mentor?
It was Aaron Smith. I was
Yeah,
his backup initially, his replacement, and that's how I get the game going. He showed me everything that he possibly could because I think this was year 13, year 14 when I first came in. So he was on,
yeah,
he was on the tail end of his career. Me being a rookie, being a young guy, I'm going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. He's teaching me the basics of everything he possibly could. He took me under his wing. He told me the do's, do nots. Not only that, he helped me outside of football with finances, how to do this, how to watch out for this. You study people from a distance. You have other people watch your money, and then you have people watch them watch your money type of deal.
yeah,
And so knowledge like that, not only that, the man was going, and I found out a little bit later that the man was going through so much personal things with his son that his son had cancer. And
yeah,
so to see him come to work every day and leave that at the door and put in work and to go back to it, I said, man, I got no choice but to, succeed because this man is dealing with something that's bigger than life. And
yeah.
so to have that, I don't even know what to call him, but to have that guy that I can follow. And so I want to mimic my life around him because he was dealing with a lot, but not only that, he kept it straight business and went straight to it. And like I said, I wish him the best with everything he's got going on. And just, he was an amazing guy just to be behind.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's good, man. Hey, one of these, I bet I ask one of the young athletes, they'll probably say you one day because I know you didn't have to mentor when it was your time.
I hope so, man. I hope so. We ain't now these
Yeah.
kids now these are.
Yeah, so what was you say was the biggest adjustment that you have from going from college to the NFL?
The speed of the game. And when I
Okay.
say the speed of the game is you have to process a lot of information in a short amount of time. The play can be called at any given time, and not only that, you have to be able to adjust on the fly.
Yeah.
There's certain techniques that you could do, but then you also have to realize and allow your athletic ability to take over. So with that being said, a couple years of trying to fit a mold that I couldn't because I tried to be that cookie colored defensive end that that I saw and try to mimic. That wasn't me, which is why Cam Haywood is having so much success because he do what Cam does, and he's having astronomical career and everything because he played the game the way he could. If I would
Yeah.
have realized that the same moment when he did, things would have been a whole lot different. Not changing the fact that I don't discredit anything I have done in the past, but things
Yeah.
could have been a little bit better if I would have realized that. But by the time that happened, I'm year 7, year 8, not
Yeah.
understanding that. But so that's why I try to tell my young guys, do do what fits the team. Don't hurt the team, but let your natural ability, natural talent take over. Because when it boils down to getting these contracts, getting these new deals, they base off your production and what it brings to the table. So that's why I try to prescribe to my young guys. My young guys is let them take over. Don't hurt the defense or hurt the offense, but not only that, put yourself in a position to where they want to bring you back because you're that impact guy.
Okay. So my next question. So are you still like active? Like, do you still like go to the Pittsburgh games? Do you still keep up with your old teammates? Y'all still in communication, things like that?
I mean, I message guys from both Pittsburgh, all the teams I've been on. I know
Yeah.
Cam is a busy guy. I don't bother guys during the season because I know how it is. Not only that,
Yeah.
he's a married man, he's family. The minute he
Yeah.
comes home from work, he want to be, we want to get to his family, and so I stay away from that realm. When I reach out to him, I don't expect him to answer me right away. And then,
Yeah.
but he does. He does a good job of getting back to me as soon as possible. I just make sure I call, check on him, make sure he's not hurt, or I may crack a joke on him to him, say, "Hey, I saw you got pushed back on this double team," or
Yeah.
I saw where Lamar shook you out your cleats, something like that, just to
Yeah.
get him laughing. But like I said, for him, because that's the only guy I really know that's part of the team, unless I'm
Yeah.
missing somebody. And it's been a while since I've been back to the building, so for him to have that direct line communication, he's the guy I can
Yeah.
call.
Ken Hayward, he pretty nice, man. See, I'm
Absolutely.
an Eagles fan, and he dominated against us.
No,
I,
he's a hell of a
yeah.
player. He's a good dude, man. Good
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give young athletes who would want to end up having a career that you had? Advice would you give them?
Right now, it's working hard. Like I said, we're starting to see a lot of shift in the game,
Yeah.
especially with these NIT deals, and now more power has been given to the players, and we're now jumping from team to team to team, thinking that's going to put us in the best position. And
Yeah.
so now I'm coaching high school back at my alma mater in Palo in Amarillo, Texas, and so we're so focused on the looks and we're focused on the hype of what we can do, but instead of go out there and putting in work. Because before you can even get to college, you got 4 years of high school to make an impact in the name. And so you have to put in that quality of work. You can't, take days off. And now with the whole portal that's going on in college, teams are not looking to build dynasties. They looking to win now.
Yeah.
So they rather take a risk on a guy that's been in college, 2 or 3 years, than a kid fresh out of high school. Unless you're a 4 or 5 star dude and you that guy coming out.
Yeah.
And so what I try to push on the kids is you got to continue to work. You don't know what's going to happen, and even if you don't get what you want, you go to a D2, a JUCO. You still have an opportunity with this portal, but you got to put it all on tape because that's how they're going to evaluate you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was just finna ask you like what you've been up to since you retired, but you said you coaching. So, how long have you been just coaching for as a whole?
Oh man, I'm going into my 4th year as the defensive line
Okay.
coach here at PD. So I'm having a good time, and so I got this. I bought this hookah lounge in 2023. I got some stocks in this coffee company, so I'm just trying to stay active and stay movement with what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make my trip to Amarillo, man. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and come, to the clubs, man. I'll be kicking it a lot.
Absolutely, man. Me and my business partner, Jacquel Love, we got this promotion, this music production type of stage promotion that we're doing, and we try to host concerts and stuff like that. We slowly try to build. And so my birthday coming up next week, we got Hashi Senju, we got the Road, we got Big Tuck coming for my birthday.
Okay.
We're gonna have it at Bliss Horizon, and it's gonna be a good time, a celebration. Just not only that, doing small things like that because every time I'm putting myself in the public light. I'm trying to put my high school because I'm trying to promote these kids on the north side. I try. I'm showing there's different ways other than what you see on TV or what you hear in music. There's different avenues how to create a life outside of that image look of what we see now these days. So I want them. I want me to be that beacon of information that they can pull from.
Oh, okay, yeah, so okay, so let's go ahead and close it out with the big game next week. So we got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Before
Yeah.
before I get your input on this, what you feel like they can before I get to ask you who you feel like gonna win, what do you feel like Kansas City Chiefs need to do to beat the Eagles, and what you feel like the Eagles should be able to do? What you feel like the keys for both teams are?
Well, for Kansas City, let's start with the offense. Um, Let Patrick Mahomes be Patrick Mahomes. If the offense will give him time and buy him time, he's going to make plays. He done it time after time. You
Yeah,
can't bet against this cat for whatever I read. I mean,
yeah,
so not only that, the defense got the ball out because with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, that dude's an animal, man.
yeah,
I don't know what New York was thinking, but man, I can't
yeah.
explain it. I'm watching I'm watching my Washington Commanders. Very first play that Philly got, they go Saquon running all
Oh
to the
yeah,
end zone. I'm saying, golly. I said, we can't stop this dude. This dude's an animal. And
yeah,
so, but the for Philly to win, that defense is going to ball out. I know they're going to play smart. I know they're going to play hard. Carter on the inside. This dude, if he continues to keep doing what he's doing, this dude gonna be a future Hall of Famer. And so
yeah,
he's a big guy. I never personally met him. I like his gameplay. I like his game style. I know he had some stuff that happened in the past, but that's the past. Now we focus on the future, what he's doing. And
yeah,
this young kid is killing the game. And I can't wait for him to reach that $150 million contract because
yeah,
shoot, I
yeah.
might slide in his DM and say, hey man, let me borrow $20 or something for him. But yeah, but that defense is unbelievable. The offensive line that they got, it looked like they all intangible and they playing very well. And so Jalen Hurts, he's going to make plays too. But like I said, that defense is going to have to combat against
Mm.
Patrick Mahomes. And Kelsey gonna have to play big. I know they got a whole roster of receivers, but like I said, if they
Yeah.
give Mahomes time, he's gonna make plays.
So what do you feel like? See, you see Jalen Hurts be getting all this flack, but I'm just saying all he do is win games. So what do you feel like about how Jalen Hurts? What do you like the most about his game?
The dude's quiet, and so
Yeah.
even with him getting stuff said good about him, stuff say bad, the kid, I can't call him kid, but the cat is really. He don't
Yeah.
say anything back. He don't react to it. The man goes out there and ball and play football. That's what you got to do.
Definitely.
You shut your critics up with your gameplay. Because
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if he wins the Super Bowl, what more can you say? He don't
Definitely.
even have to say nothing after that. He can drop the mic and walk off. But like I say,
They can
just
find
looking
it.
at him, it seems like the team is behind him. I haven't heard any negative things outside, just jokers on the internet just fooling around. Like I said, I don't personally know the dude, but from a distance, he looked like a straight cat, man. He looked like a
Yeah.
straight brother to me.
Yeah. So who do you got winning next week?
Man, to be honest with you, in my mind, I want to say Philly, but it's hard to go against Kansas City, man. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie to you. It's hard, but when Buffalo started coming back against them in the last game they had, I said, "Oh snap! Buffalo got a chance." There go Patrick Mahomes. There you go again.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Well, the ref bailed them out. The ref did this. Ref did that." But I was like, "Man, I don't know. I don't know." Because I get asked all the time, "Is the game rigged?" I couldn't tell you because shoot, I wasn't part of the deal. I wish I would have known.
Yeah.
But like I said, I got Kansas City winning just to go off the strength of what they've been doing this past season. But I wouldn't be surprised if Philly pull it off. Either way, hopefully we get a good game regardless.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully my Eagles win though, man. I said big Eagles fan. I need that number two ring, man.
Man, I got a guy that come to the lounge here. I lost the bet against him. I can't stand him because he's just obnoxious with it, man. Just I'm tired listening to him. Then I'm looking at Gilly the kid. He does his
Yeah.
little dance and all this. I'm like, man, I'm tired of looking at him. It's fun. It's fun to look at. It's funny to watch, but
Yeah.
I'm tired of this cat popping up everywhere, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he Too Short should thank him, man. He done brought his song to life ever
you
since
know
he
what?
just blow the whistle.
But
That's
but
how I
he
feel.
but he, I mean but he did pay respect because at one
Yeah.
I think one IG post I saw, Too Short actually was there at his house singing the song, and then they
Yeah.
got the neighbors involved with it.
Yeah.
And so this dude coming out with a broom or a shovel, whatever he's doing in the background. So, but then again, but like that goes to respect of them paying, their everybody else around them, getting them involved with the
Yeah.
experience and all of that. Like I said, I don't like Philly fans, but I can see what's going on. So.
Ah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Philly fans about kind of be too crazy, man. Just like I saw what they
Absolutely.
did against Wale. I said, man, I can't be doing Wale like that, man. We
Yeah,
we
man.
all us Eagle fans ain't bad though. We
Oh,
all
I
ain't.
know that. I mean, it's just a few knuckleheads, but you know how it can look when all they gonna say, well, the Philly fans did this and that, and that's how they go with that.
Yeah, like them people in Philly. But like I said, man, appreciate you taking the coming on my podcast. And we gonna do it again when I come up to Amarillo when we get into the studio.
Absolutely, man. Anytime, man. Just give me a heads up and I'll be available.
Okay, yes, sir. But hey, if you guys like today's video with Mr. Ziggy Hood, make sure you guys like subscribe to the